Let's talk snitch culture in hip hop. Right? We were talking earlier, and
I don't care about.
Here's my thing though. Akon says that if Young Thug takes a stand, he can know his rap career will be over. He'll have to do R&B or country because he's talented enough to do that. This is Akon's stance. But my question is more about the actual concept of snitch culture. It's more prevalent now than I've ever seen. Like when we were coming up and listening to music, and yes, I'm being an old head here, I wasn't worried about if people were snitching. Now, the internet wasn't the same and the access wasn't the same, but Jay Moore talked about it earlier.
Everybody's always, it's not a hip hop thing. Let me go ahead and clear the air.
Are you sure? Are you sure when you say that? I'm
positive when I say that because the whole snitching thing came from gangs back in the day.
No.
Before hip hop.
No, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is the platform that is used to talk about this 8 times out of 10 is related to hip hop.
It's not a hip hop thing. It's more of a where you grew up, what kind of involvement you were in, and it carried over to hip hop because some of the stuff that they address
in their raps
can get them indicted, so to speak. We're talking about somebody that's indicted
100%
and are part of that life. When it comes down to snitching though, if you're not part of that life, if you're not doing that, it doesn't apply to you.
Let me ask you this. Here's my devil's advocate question. If you're a blogger and you're online, right, and you're supposed to be a hip-hop site, hip-hop is your base, Jay Moore. Hip-hop is your base, right? So hip-hop is your base. Why are you reporting, quote-unquote, or making videos about artists snitching and not snitching? That has nothing to do with hip-hop. That's my question to you, Jay Diff. Like, why is that so prevalent now? Because all I see is you can look on YouTube and just scroll down and see snitching. We
talked about this before. Clout chasing.
Yeah. You think it's based on 100%?
It's all 100%. I mean, it's media. I mean, just like back in the day before we had social media, we know that they created or put a battery in the back of the East Coast West Coast beef.
We know that,
right? We know that.
I agree with that.
It was heightened because of them. Now, if something happens 5 minutes ago, I can type up a piece real quick,
right?
So that you get online and search for it, which brings traffic to my site,
right?
Even though I have nothing to do with that. I mean, Academics made his career off of Chicago, Chirac, and has never been to Chicago. That speaks volumes in itself, right there.
That's fair.
It's all about getting the clicks, the likes, and the traffic.
Do you agree with me? Agree with me when I say it's more prevalent now than it has been in the previous years, just based off social media and everything, because it hasn't been as prominent, in my opinion, as it is now. The conversation of snitching as it relates to rap and hip hop.
The faster everything gets,
right?
Which is what's going on. I mean, the longer we're here in this internet age, which is going to last our whole lifetime.
You're right.
I think that's just going to be the case, man. You have people that make themselves a media outlet and they are reporting the news.
Clout is a good word too. Clout chasing and the concept of that. That's a good point. Jay Moore, jump in, man. What you think?
Man,
what you think about Akon saying this?
First of all, people been snitching.
100%. We know that. We know that.
Do I think Young Thug, if he got on stand and started snitching, he'd be able to have a career?
He has a RICO charge, bruh.
What I'm saying is, if he gets now this pie in the sky type stuff, right? If Young Thug gets up there and talks a lot and finds himself out with everybody else still in there, that's what Akon is talking about. What is his career going to be after that?
He'll be just fine.
You think he'll be just fine? He can go back to rapping about that.
These people
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with street code.
Young
These people
Thug is
have
from
no
a
ethics.
different. Young Thug came up from a different upbringing and rose with a different type of people than a 6ix9ine did.
I don't agree with that. Yeah,
so I don't
I'm
think
with Terry
he
on that.
can't go back to Atlanta or wherever he's from if he's doing that. Especially if he put all these people on and they were involved in it too. He's not going to be able to do music no more. He's going to have to go into whatever they call it.
It'd be hard for him to get some collaborations, but
Akon was thinking he's like, man, he's talented enough to do country, R&B, or whatever.
Or you know what? You're right, man. He'd go overseas. Trust me, if he got
he can go overseas and get some money.
You know,
they're gonna pay him.
And a lot of times that overseas money is bigger than it is here in the United States.
Thank you,
America.
Jay Moore.
Well, unfortunately,
that's why people don't have no problem snitching.
Unfortunately, he's black.
Yeah.
And somebody will have a bullet with his name on it. Unfortunately,
look,
I'm just saying.
I'm not trying
real.
But you know, think about how many rappers we lost in the time since 6ix9ine been out here, and he ain't been touched.
That's
George
true.
Zimmerman ain't been touched either.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a rapper.
I mean,
But still.
but going back,
How many young black men have been touched by the hands of bullets that did less than snitching?
yeah, I mean, and when we talk about
That are rappers.
Good
you know,
point.
think about
point.
when we talk about checking in, this is the thing that drives me crazy. It was like, do we ever make sure that these like George Zimmerman checks in? Do we
He
ever
never
make,
has to check
Do
in.
we ever make sure the dude who I don't even want to say his name because it made me angry. The cop that shot Mike Brown, does he have to check in?
Nope.
No, they get to go wherever they
They gotta
want.
go, but when they
and
look
do
like
whatever-
you,
and when they
that's
do whatever
that's
they
the point
do,
I'm making. When they look like you, they're a threat. So they see Young Thug as a threat because these cats are still in the streets.
Thank you.
So he can't walk the streets like that because they gonna picture him as you telling on me or something, blah blah blah. The dude that killed Nip killed him because Nip said, "I heard that you was snitching.
Right.
I heard there was some paperwork.
I
on
heard
you.
it was some paperwork
And the
behind you snitching."
But and even with that, because this is why, like I said, it drove me crazy to hear the story about how the witness, the cat cowboy,
Yeah.
had to say like, because it's to make sure that he didn't get off for killing Nip. You know, he said it wasn't a crime of passion. Like this dude Nip shook his hand, he walked off, and then he came back.
They dragged
and
Cowboy
they
for
mad
that.
at Cowboy.
They dragged him for that.
and I was
Exactly.
that you know.
They dragged him for that.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm like, those are the messed up morals and rules that we living by. This once again, this having black businesses burned down.
Young Thug was really out here involved in that stuff.
Bro,
6ix9ine was a paid gangster.
Yeah.
He wasn't raised
at all.
behind that. It was more so he got on and was extorted. He
Yeah.
became a blood, fake blood, and he pretty much snitched on all of them.
Bro, but Smooth Hooja just said if 6ix9ine is good, Young Thug will be good. I don't believe
agree.
that. I don't agree with
I
that.
don't
First of all,
agree.
6ix9ine ain't good. 6ix9ine is like
He's protected.
He spends a lot of money on protection.
Well, and also once you work for the feds, you never stop working
That's
for
a
the
good
feds.
point.
Right.
And you know, and I can't remember
That's a
what
good
song
point.
it was that Jay-Z said. It's like, you know, you always in jail, just minus the bars.
Come on. Remember when he randomly ran up on Meek Mill?
Yeah.
Imagine what that was about. There
Clout.
was never
Clout.
anything. I mean, like he just said, once you're running with the Alphabet Boys,
Yeah.
essentially it's trying to provoke
Yeah.
Meek Mill. It probably was a battery that they put in his back.
100%.
Once
And
was a battery.
this is hypothetically speaking.
No, I understand,
You know what I'm
but it was
saying?
a bad.
But
If
Who else? I mean, Meek Mill is all about this prison reform.
What did they say?
They got this dude that just
Allegedly-
told on a whole gang
Come
of
on, man.
people, and
Come
he's
on, man.
out now and
Come on, man.
just randomly runs into Meek Mill
Come
and
on,
wants to
man.
start trouble with him.
That was 100% clout because you can see
That was a trap.
and a trap because you can see the people with their phones out like, yo, I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
You should see people recording just to be like, yo, we got to get this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that Young Thug
I
is
agree
able
with you
to
on
move the same way as 6ix9ine.
I agree with
just
you on
don't.
that. I'm not in the camp of him being cool if this happens. I'm not in that camp because the circumstances between him and a person like 6ix9ine are completely different. To Terry's point,
Because he was actually really out there in the trenches getting it. I mean,
yeah. And this dude was calling hits and all that type of stuff, but he really was just a cash cow. Like
Look,
people was just indicting you, extorting you for bread.
Look, I hate, I don't know, we have some people who are listening or who might see a clip of this or whatever who are fans of Young Thug.
Yeah,
And I'm going to let y'all know right now, even he's going to do at least 10 years.
minimum.
Because when I'm looking at the indictment, like even if the RICO stuff, it falls apart. They found drugs in his house.
Yeah.
and weapons.
And they found
Weapons.
a weapon, and they found, I'm not going to go into what a switch is.
Yeah, leave that alone. Yep.
But
Do
I'm
y'all
just,
know what a switch carries? If you get
that's
pulled
10
over,
years.
yeah, the switch
Automatic.
on the gun is an automatic 10 years.
Yep.
You
Off
know.
top.
So unless
Yeah, just
somebody
off top.
unless somebody else want to take the weight on that, Young Thug gonna do at least 10 years.
So, it's just the fact that Akon said that. I just wanted to talk about just the concept of how that's been pushed more. It's been pushed forward. Like you see it all the time. Like there's so many websites where is this person snitching? Is that person snitching? And then the YouTube page says hip hop news.
Everybody hides everything behind hip hop. This hip hop that. I mean, hip
I
hop.
agree. I
The
agree.
hip hop term doesn't even mean hip hop anymore.
Nah, hip hop
Just
could
be
mean
dudes that rap who got in trouble.
Yeah, hip hop could mean so many things at this point. I agree with you there. Yeah, I agree
Long
with you.
said 10 years in the hole. That sounds like something Mike would say.
Even they hate on you, even when you. Even when
he's
people
right.
just cross the country, they just gonna still hate on you, huh? He right though.
When he know you, you know you.
Yeah,
I know long
It
time.
sounds like something you say.
Yeah, would I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said that sound like something Mike would say.
No,
I know people that's been in the hole. I ain't gonna say no names, but
No,
I
you
know.
don't.
No,
Yeah, I
you
do.
don't.
I do. I definitely do. I definitely do. I know people that's been in the hole, but it's cool though. I ain't gonna put them out there like that.
Oh,
Which
good. That's
hole?
good.
Like
Good
the
of you.
hole that
Shawshank in
talking
the
about
hole.
the hole that what's his name was digging in the movie holes.
No, I'm talking about.
What's his name?
I know what you talking about. I ain't talking about that. I know people that have been in the hole like Shawshank.
Did they dig their way out?
Off traffic violations, and they put them in the hole.
In the
Nobody's
hole.
in-
Don't nobody go to the
First of
hole.
all, nobody
for no
goes to the
traffic
hole because you're in the
violation.
county jail. There's no such thing as the hole in any county jail in
Here you
America.
go.
You got to be in prison.
I wouldn't put my man out there like that, but he's had experience in the hole. All right, man. Is there anything
You got to really have.
You have
done
watched
something.
entirely too much
I
Oz.
haven't. I haven't. No, I
You
haven't.
need to turn
No,
that off.
you-
You had to have gone to prison
Which
first
I have
off,
never been to prison.
and start some trouble in prison
Yeah.
or be disorderly
Before you get to the hole.
Yeah.
before you get to the hole.
I know.
You don't just get locked up and go directly.
be like,
to
all
the,
right,
don't pass
to
go,
the hole
go
you
directly
go.
to the hole.